Could the advice you're following on YouTube be the reason that your channel is not growing? Well, I believe it could, and after generating over 200,000 views and working with dozens of YouTubers, I still see the same terrible advice being shared every single week. And the truth is, most creators are focusing on the wrong things entirely. In this video, I'll reveal what actually matters if you want to get more views and finally grow your channel. Because once I worked out what actually mattered, my channel took off and I got monetized in 5 months. But most importantly, I could have cut that time in half if I knew what I do now. So let's jump straight in with the first thing that everyone gets wrong about YouTube. I want you to ask yourself, why do you think your videos aren't getting many views? If your answer sounds anything like I'm too small or YouTube doesn't push new channels, you've just discovered the exact myth that keeps people stuck. The algorithm isn't against small channels, but the sad truth is that's what millions of people believe. And as a result, they blame YouTube when their videos don't do very well. While low views are a problem for most small channels, blaming YouTube won't help you learn how to actually blow up your channel. Yes, it is difficult in the beginning, but it's just about learning what actually works on YouTube. See, when I first started, I believed all of that nonsense too. I'd see some channels blow up and grow quickly, and like most people, I just presumed that they'd either got lucky or YouTube somehow picked them to go viral. And even worse, when my own videos flopped, I blamed YouTube as well, but the truth is, it was never YouTube's fault, and luck had nothing to do with it. Eventually, I took the time to learn how to make videos that people actually want to watch, and as a result, my channel took off. I got 17,000 views on a video at a time when I only had 300 subscribers. And it was at that point I realized it doesn't matter how big your channel is, providing you understand the 3 pillars of content creation, your videos will start to perform and your channel will grow. So what do successful creators do differently to get results? They make videos their audience wants to watch, they craft titles and thumbnails that make people click, and they ensure their content provides real value through entertainment, education, or inspiration. But it's not always as easy as it sounds, is it? So today I'm going to break down those 3 pillars so that you can use them on your next video. Because the truth is, it's just YouTube's job to keep viewers on the platform. And if your video does that, YouTube's going to push your content to more and more people. But if no one watches, or even worse, leaves your video early, that's when your video is going to die and all of your hard work is going to be wasted. So let me show you exactly what those 3 pillars look like in practice. Pillar 1. Making videos people want to watch. When I made this video that got 63,000 views, I didn't just guess that the video was going to do well. I spent time researching and working out which videos were performing well in my niche and the mistakes that people were making. To do that, I looked at all of the questions that kept popping up in people's comment section and problems that people were asking about in forums like Reddit. And that is pillar 1. It's making videos that are useful to people or that people want to watch, not just what you want to make. Then I moved on to pillar 2, packaging that makes people click. The title made it obvious why a new creator should watch the video. 9 things you should never do after uploading a YouTube video. Not the things I learned about YouTube or my upload mistakes. Instead, I offered a clear promise that as a small channel, these are the things that you should never do, which is much more powerful and drives curiosity that the viewer needs to satisfy. And in the video itself, as soon as it started, I didn't waste time with a long introduction about who I was or my journey so far. I jumped straight into mistake number 1 within 30 seconds. Showing people what was going wrong and how to fix it. And that's pillar 3. Delivering value to my target audience so people actually stay and watch. The video got thousands of views and brought in hundreds of new subscribers, and it's still bringing in views months later, all as a result of having a solid idea, effective packaging, and providing value. But if you're like me, coming up with ideas, titles, and thumbnails that actually work is not only difficult, but incredibly time-consuming. I spent months doing it the old-fashioned way, scrolling through YouTube and analyzing what worked. And while it obviously worked for my channel, now there is a much better way of doing it. Because let's be honest, AI is completely changing the way that we create content on YouTube. And I'm not talking about ChatGPT. Dedicated tools designed to help us as creators make the best videos possible and get the most views. So today, I'm excited to share with you the tool that's completely changed content creation for me and thousands of people. And the best part is it's literally saved me hours each week. It's called 1 of 10 and it's an AI-powered packaging tool that handles the 3 most important parts of your video: the idea, the title, and the thumbnail. But here's what makes it different. It doesn't just generate random suggestions. It uses data from your channel to show you what's working on YouTube right now for your niche. So first, you connect your YouTube channel, and once you've done that, that, 1 of 10 is going to analyze your existing content and use that data to understand your niche, your audience, and your channel style. This means that every suggestion it makes is tailored to your channel specifically and not just generic ideas. Then it finds proven title ideas based on outliers from successful channels in your niche. So instead of guessing, you're starting with video ideas that are already proven to work. Then it generates dozens of high-performing titles that are already blowing up on YouTube to save you the guesswork and make sure you get the most amount of views. This is my favorite part. With the click of a button and using your own images, it creates multiple professional-looking thumbnails that you can upload straight away. This tool has saved me countless hours each week and generated thumbnails like these with almost zero effort, including the one that you clicked on to watch this video. It's a complete game changer, and the first 100 people to use the link in my description can use this tool for just $1 in their first month. And thank you to 1 of 10 for sponsoring this video. The next thing that nearly everyone gets wrong about YouTube, and something that happened to me very recently, is arguably the #1 reason that most people quit. Because let's be honest, creating content on YouTube is not easy. There are so many skills that we have to learn, and for most of us, that is done in our spare time. And if you're anything like me, you've got a job, bills, cooking, cleaning, a family, and everything else that makes life so difficult. So when you add content creation to that list, suddenly it can feel like YouTube is just another problem that you have to deal with. You can start to ask yourself if it's even worth it. And it can get even worse when you're constantly being told to upload consistently every single week, or even twice a week just to grow. But what if I told you that was all nonsense? Ever since I started my channel, I've seen so many talented creators burn out and quit because of the pressure that they put on themselves to upload weekly. But last month I had a massive wake-up call when, like most people, I had a pretty difficult time in my life that I had to deal with, and I had to take a step back from YouTube completely. I took an entire month off, and in the back of my mind I knew that the algorithm was going to punish me, and I even worried that my viewers would forget I existed. Well, I couldn't have been more wrong. Not only was the support that I got from my viewers genuinely humbling, but when I finally hit upload after a month away, my video didn't flop like I was expecting. In fact, it got over 10,000 views in a couple of days. And it was at that moment I realized all of the time that I'd spent worrying about my channel during one of the most difficult times of my life was completely wasted. The truth is that weekly uploads aren't just unnecessary for most of us, but keeping that schedule is one of the main reasons that we burn out before we ever give YouTube a real chance. And it's not just me, there are loads of successful channels that upload less than a couple of times a month and still get impressive results. So the next time life happens and you have to take a step back for yourself or your family, don't even think about YouTube, because it's still going to be here when you get back. Because like I said earlier, the only thing that really matters is the quality of your content. And as long as people enjoy and get value from your videos, YouTube is going to keep pushing them out regardless of how long it's been since you uploaded. And now I need to share something that most creators won't want to hear. On YouTube, there are a few buzzwords that people place far too much importance on. And in fact, just like this video has already proven, it's far too easy to waste your time on things that don't matter at all. And one of those things is authenticity. Now, hear me out, because I'm not saying be somebody that you're not, but being authentic has never grown a channel by itself. And in fact, there are thousands of kind and caring people on YouTube who never make it, because being authentic just doesn't matter if you're not providing value. On my other channel, I spent months being my authentic self, talking about all the problems that I'd faced and trying to motivate people with my own story. I'd make videos about whatever I felt like at the time, and as a result, I spent months making content that barely got 50 views. Because the truth is, you could be the most genuine and authentic person on camera, but if your video doesn't solve a problem for the viewer or entertain people, very few people are going to stick around and watch that video. When I shifted and started teaching everything that I'd learned on YouTube and actually started helping people with their problems, that's when everything changed for me. Suddenly, I wasn't just relying on my character or my authenticity to grow my channel. I was still being authentic, but packaged in a way that provided real value, and the results from my channel speak for themselves. Now, if you remember the advice that I've shared today, the next time you create content, you've got a much higher chance of that video doing well. But there are loads of simple mistakes that I still see people making every time they upload. So in this next video, I reveal the mistakes that you need to avoid when you upload a video if you ever want to succeed on YouTube, especially as a small channel. So watch that next, and I'll see you over there.